You're here to receive a very special psychic prescription, much like a weather report, for how to best work with the universal energies that will be present this week. And that's the week from the 14th of March to the 20th of March 2020. I'm Kylie Savage Psychic, and this is the weekly Oracle card reading. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you've been watching along for a while, welcome back. Remember, I'd love for you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified of when these videos come out. Now, I need for you to do something. I need for you to intuitively choose a number between 1 and 4, and you can do that now. Right, remember your number, because I'll be pulling 4 cards from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. And the number that you've chosen, that will be the card whose message is just a little bit more pertinent and relevant for you and for whatever's going on in your life in particular at the moment. When I say universal energies, that means the energies that are available for us to work with, all the people who are watching these videos. And if you're not sure about the process, or you have questions about oracle cards or psychics or readings or anything else like that, you can always get in touch with me. The best thing to do is go over and like and follow my Facebook page, Kylie Savage Psychic, or send me an email, kyliesavagepsychic@gmail.com. Okay, how are you? It's been a massive week so far. I'm actually doing this reading on the Tuesday, the 17th, and if you may notice that there wasn't a reading for last week, I personally have been going through quite some challenging times myself. I've also been unwell, and last week it was like, I could do A, B, and C, and D and try and rush through the reading, or I could just let it go. So I made a decision to let it go, and I'm showing up this week the very best that I can. And I thank you for your patience and understanding. I understand also that it's really important to be consistent with any of the projects that we have going on, or goals we'd like to achieve. Consistency is key. And yet to balance that out or counterbalance that, this is life and things happen. So we need to be extremely kind and self-compassionate when we aren't able to do all the things that we'd like to do, or honor all of our commitments, because of, for whatever reason, ill health or personal challenges, you name it. We all have a life, and that's what life can be like. So I do appreciate people coming back and watching these videos again. And for a very selfish reason, I find that these videos give some structure to my week. These readings give me some information, some insights, and a few heads up, but just to let me know, what the universal energies are currently and how I can best work with them. And what is it that I really need to know about the week I'm going into, or the month? I talked in a previous video about sometimes there are themes that emerge. So what is it I need to know about this theme that may be present? And I find that these videos really do assist and support me. And if they only help one person, and that's me, then it's, energy well spent. That's the way that I look at it. Okay, let's move on. So we have the Anchor card from the Wisdom of the Oracle, which is Breathe, and it's in protection. We actually have 6 fantastic cards. So I've pulled 4 from the Wisdom of the Oracle, and then the 5th card from Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors Oracle, and then the 6th card is from Doreen Virtue's Angel Answers Oracle. So breathe. Breathe when it's in the upright position is all about, coming into this present moment, making time for, peaceful activities and experiences, bringing the serenity in, meditating, getting right with yourself and this moment, coming into the now. Now, breathe when it's in protection is about re-engaging with life. It's about connecting with the breath and understanding that all life is breath. Breath is all life, kind of thing. And it's the encouragement in the deck and from this card is to say, let's re-engage. And it talks about inertia and apathy, and it talks about not giving in to inertia and apathy, and not sort of like the message I'm getting is not to be complacent. And look, I will give you the message that I'm receiving with this card and with this particular story emotion. And it won't be exactly true to the guidebook. It will be true to the way that, I'm reading current events and what's going on for me in my life, where I'm coming from, vibrationally, so to speak, and the energies around me and my connection with spirit. So when I saw breathe in protection and then I read the guidebook message, I sort of went, the message that I'm getting is life is, can be very scary at the moment. We have the COVID-19 global outbreak at the moment. In Australia, we've come off the back of, devastating bushfires. There are fears about, global financial markets and the knock-on effect of the COVID-19 outbreak. And I really don't want to talk about it yet. This is current news, this is what's going on for us. And when I saw this card and I read the messages, what I feel like is it's easy to get into panic. It's easy for us to kind of devolve in a way and give in to, our base instincts, our original nature. And we need to be very kind and compassionate if that's what we do, if we see other people doing it. And I've been reading a lot and, taking in lots of podcasts and things like that. And I do believe it's important to have compassion for ourselves. If we're reacting out of the older parts of our brain, the amygdala, we're in the fight, flight, freeze, or the other ones, then, we don't need people's criticism and judgment. We need their compassion and understanding and care. We also need people to demonstrate healthy boundaries, when we're out there interacting in the world. So getting back, breathe is saying, even if the world seems like a scary place right now, even if you feel too frightened to engage, if you feel like you're panicking, your anxiety levels are through the roof, if you feel like it's all, it's overwhelming, it's all become a bit too much, this card and the encouragement from spirits to say, that's okay. That's completely understandable. It's okay that you may be feeling like that. It's okay that other people may be feeling like that. Yet, it's not, I'm trying to say it in the best way possible. Not that it's not an excuse, but it's like, it's not a reason to withdraw from life. It's actually a reason to engage with life even more so. And yet, I'll talk more about how we can do that. So what Spirit want to say is essentially you're safe. You are okay. There is a part of us, our soul, the home of our whole being, and our spiritual being that is always safe and is always well. And we can come through this. Yes, times are extremely challenging. Yes, it's difficult to get the right information. Yes, there are so many conflicting messages and, conflicting stories about what we need to be doing, what we don't need to be doing. Yes, there's a lot of doubt and uncertainty about our future right now. Yet Spirit don't want you to withdraw and retreat so far inside yourself that you are not able to be there for yourself and you are not able to be there for others, and that you don't want to engage with life at any level. That's not what they're saying to do, or how to be at this moment. They're saying stay switched on, stay plugged in, stay awake and alert, stay engaged. Okay, and the way to stay engaged, our next right action, and if your card was number 2, is no place like home. Okay, so I'm just going to get this completely out of the way. Yes, if you are isolating at home right now, or if you're in hospital, or if you're in some sort of quarantine or whatever, this card definitely speaks to that. No place like home is you may be at home for quite some time. And yet Spirit want you to stay engaged. They don't want you to completely isolate. I had one thought go through my head, which is a little bit of a conspiracy theory, a little, a lot of a projection, which is like, oh my God, it's coming true. They wanted us all to be, at home in our boxes, connected to the internet, supplied only, through one source and all the rest of it. And what if this is the way that happens? The reality is, there are many, many people living around the world who are completely isolated already. They didn't need a disease outbreak to be isolated and withdrawn. And what Spirit is saying is that's not the way to proceed. They're not saying rush out and, especially if you're not well, go and contaminate your communities. They're not saying that. They're just saying that there is a way to stay engaged and not retreat from your life and your community and your country and the things that you hold dear. There's a way to do that, without giving in to panic and without experiencing some of the more negative consequences of what's going on. So, yes, you may be at home. I don't like this term self-isolating. It's really awful. But anyway, you may be self-isolating. You may be quarantining yourself. All the words, we definitely need some better language to talk about this stuff. You may find yourself at home with your family. This card is very much about home and family matters. So we need to be prepared for that, and we need to think about that. And, from the read I have on the situation, given that I'm someone who doesn't watch the news, is that people are doing that. People are thinking long term, what if I'm going to be at home for weeks with my kids and my husband? I mean, that could be more dangerous. I'm joking. Yet that can be a very tense and stressful situation. So, yeah, be prepared. On a spiritual level, the message I got was, you can be in this world but not of it. You can come home to yourself. What is your true, authentic response to the challenges that are currently happening in your life? Do you need to buy into somebody else's drama? Or can you keep everything here with you and ask yourself, what do I think about this? How do I feel about this? How do I choose to respond to what's going on? And the thing is, the more people who are anchored, who are calm and grounded, and who are responding to life, the more people who stay true in their own vibration, the better it will be for everybody. And mothers, I'm being probably a bit sexist because there could be fathers at home too. Mothers I look as, they are the anchors, for the home society. They are the linchpins in the wheel. And if the mothers can remain calm and grounded and centered and keep everything here, then the mothers will have a wonderful positive ripple effect on their family members and the wider community. Mothers often set the emotional tone for the home and family. And fathers, please forgive me, and carers, if you can include yourself in that, then that's terrific. Yet, going forwards and from today, we really need to keep our energy here. We need to be asking ourselves each day, what do I need? What is going to assist and support me to move through this day? And let's stay in the moment. That's really important. I could go on and on. I won't. Okay, so if you pick card number 3, these cards really are like the story in motion that's unfolding. When I saw it come out, when I turned the cards over, I was just like, wow. Whenever we have a need, Spirit meets us there. And this is, how I receive support and assistance and guidance. I do this through oracle cards. You may do it through many other ways. This is just one. Chop wood. Chop wood is the saying, please forgive me, I haven't looked up the original origins, but the saying is something like, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. So the thing is, especially if we're at home, especially if we are struggling to engage with life, what can we do about that? And this is the future possible outcome. The future possible outcome is that we can find a way to stay centered, to stay grounded, to re-engage with life. And the way possibly is, and what this card is saying, is that we can focus on the now and the needs of the now. We can chop wood, we can carry water. Doing very menial tasks, I mean, there are other levels to this card, but doing very menial tasks like going and doing the washing, writing the shopping list, organising day-to-day running of the household and what you need for work, bringing everything right down and simplifying it, and just doing the next right action. Just taking the next right action. That could be really, really practical and useful and supportive advice. A suggestion for right now. What is it that you need to do in this moment? And first things first, just focus on that next task. Let the domestic duties, especially if you're at home, let them ground you. Let them center you. Let that be your meditative practice. Let that be your prayer. I'm washing the dishes. I'm doing a load of washing. I am organising household tasks. I'm decluttering the house. That's a great thing to do if you have the time. We often say that we don't have time. Now a lot of people are working from home and they may find more time to get more things done. There are so many silver linings and upsides if we look for them. So yeah, chop wood, carry water. That's our future possible outcome here. That we could find our peace and serenity in these things. And I forgot to tell you the question I was asking, which I will add in, and then I'll talk about our fourth card. Okay, so the question I asked this week was, what is it we really need to know this week to remain sane, safe, serene, content, and well? Just put that back down there. Okay, so if your card was number 4. Now, the fourth card in a flow reading, and I do what I call an extended flow reading, which I've adapted from Colette Baron-Reid's flow reading, which I learned many years ago. The fourth card gives us more details for all the other cards, and it fills in, more of the story. The details of the story. So it's exchanging gifts. The card's a little bit pale, but you can see that there. Now, exchanging gifts. When I've been listening to the podcasts and reading some posts and things like that, the things that I am sort of like, like a bell goes off or a light shines. It's like, there is a message that I've received throughout this week to say, and because I'm a silver linings person, I'm a realistic optimist. That's what I try and be. The message that I've been receiving is look for the opportunities. And that's what this card is saying, is that great opportunities are coming to you now. And you're like in the midst of chaos. Okay, take the masks, for example. So a lot of people have needed or wanted to have masks to help, protect themselves and protect others from contagion. I'm thinking about the people making masks. Hasn't a massive gap in the market just opened up to make more masks and make better masks? And isn't that a flow-on effect from the bushfires in Australia, where masks were a really big issue? And masks are one of the things that allow you to go out into the world, to stay engaged. Yes, they seem like a barrier, and yet, many countries around the world wear masks all the time daily because of things like air pollution, and smog, or things like it's culturally appropriate in large populations to try and protect each other from common germs. I see masks could be a big part of our future, yet I see them as, like in a silver linings way, masks could be one of the things that we use so that we can stay engaged. We can go to work, we can go to school without as much fear, the fear that drives us and that encourages us to disengage. I really trust that I'm making sense about this. So in exchanging gifts, I'm also seeing the opportunities like, where can we be of service? We have something, we may think we're stuck at home, we can't work, we're working from home, we're there with the kids, there's so many things. We can look at it in a really negative way and go, oh my God, this is terrible, there's so many things I can't do, What if we were to flip all this and reframe it and look for the opportunities, look for the silver linings? What if amazing business ideas came out of this? Because the thing about human beings is whenever we are tested, whenever we are challenged, and we are between the hammer and the anvil, that's where we find our strength. That's where we thrive. That's where we grow. Like the story of my life and the story of other people's lives that I really admire, that have assisted and supported me the most, they're not people who had it easy. There are people who had great adversity in their life and they came through it. They became realistic optimists. They became silver linings people. They looked for the opportunity in the difficulty. They flipped things. They reframed things. They refocused, and they did what they needed to do to make that happen and to have a positive impact, not only on their own life, but then it became a ripple effect, and they, had a positive impact on so many other people. Their story became an inspiration. It wasn't a story about how easy and good their life was. No, it's never like that. That's my experience. It's always about the people whose lives were pushed to the extremes. They were challenged until they had to dig to the very core of their being to find a way through. These are the people that inspire me. These are the people who I look up to. These are my role models, and this is what I want to be for you. Exchanging gifts means, yeah, things could be really crap right now. Yet, where's the reframe? Where's the silver lining? What am I learning? What if all of this is happening for all of us? Like Matt Kahn says, what if this particular situation, this particular crappy thing is happening for you, not to you, for you? Then what does that mean to you? What are you learning? What are you gaining? What are you being challenged by? What are you being encouraged to do? What is the gift? And don't, come at me and say, oh, that's a crap Pollyanna way to look at things. Don't bother. Don't waste your breath. Because this is the stuff that I've been able to live my life by. This is how I choose to perceive things. And if you don't, that's fine. Off you go. Find someone else to listen to. This is when, when the crap hits the wall, this is the stuff that gets me through. This is what's developed resilience in me. This is where I found my courage. This is where I found myself. You can find yourself in this too. Reframe your challenges, look for the opportunities, ask what you can give, not what you can take necessarily yet. On the other end of that too, if you're at home, look at, online, people have been putting notes under their neighbours' doors saying, if you're self-isolating, what do you need? The online shopping, people can drop stuff to your door. Allow yourself to be assisted and supported. If you go out there living like a martyr saying no one can help you, your problems are so big, they're so huge, you're such a victim or a martyr, or it looks like you're not in control unless you do everything for yourself. Well, disabuse yourself of that notion and that game, because those archetypes won't work for you in times of great challenge and trial. What assists and supports you is giving and receiving. This is a law of giving and receiving. So receive some good, give out some good. You can do this, people. We can all do this, and we can all do this together. If you would love to hear a fantastic cheerleader, go and check out Glennon Melton. Sorry, it used to be Melton Doyle. Maybe it's Glennon Doyle now. I don't know. She has a new book out called Untamed. Glennon offered to do story time for everyone's kids. I thought that was a beautiful idea. That's a silver lining. Okay, Broken Arrow. I love this. We are going to find our way through this, and how bumpy the road is or how smooth it is or your experience of it is dependent on you. So Broken Arrow says make peace. It actually says embrace the energy of peace. You can use this time to give into your basic instincts, and please, as you said, if you're panicking and you're afraid, don't give yourself a hard time about that. That's where you're at. You don't need to stay there though. The energy of peace is embrace that. What if, heaven forbid, you could actually find some joy and serenity with everything that's going on? What if, no matter what the adversity and the challenge is, what if you looked for how to make peace with it? And this card is saying we will find peace in everything that's going on. We will come together. Broken Arrow says that the two tribes are no longer fighting. We will reconcile ourselves to each other, with each other, and with what's going on. We will make peace with the virus too. If we look at the virus itself as a catalyst for great and amazing change, which all the mystics, I've been saying it, all the people I listen to, we've all been saying that this time was coming. It's happening so much faster, and yet we've been sitting in this energy and understanding the pace of vibration for a very long time. You go back a few decades, even longer than that, you go back to people like Edgar Cayce. He talked about this time. He talked about things like this happening. People, we've saturated you guys with messages about this time. So you need to listen up, and you need to know that what we're saying, we're coming from the best place of, best part of us. Sometimes we might stuff up. Sometimes you've got to remember it's the message, not the man. Sometimes we may not be the very best people. That doesn't mean that the information we're giving people is rubbish. It means that we're human. Broken Arrow means we will make peace with what's going on. We will make peace with ourselves. We will come together and we will make peace with each other. This is a unifying experience. It will be a separating experience if you let it be. It can be a unifying experience if you allow it to be. I know which one I'm going to choose. Recovery from Angel Answers. I love this. Okay, so the 5th and 6th card, they just give us further insights and clarity on the 4 cards, which is the main reading. So recovery from Angel Answers, you said the light's really on that. Oh, I love it. I just see this is such a positive message. We are going to come through everything that's happening right now. Stronger, wiser, braver. It's happening, people, and you can be a part of that. Let's all make a continued, concerted effort to be part of the solution. I trust that you're all doing all you need to be sane, serene, safe, and well. If there's any way I can continue to assist and support you with that, I want you to get in touch and I want you to let me know. You can go to my page, I can create a post if that's what people want. We can share about where we're at. I am going to try and do a Facebook Live too. I love seeing that a lot of people on Facebook are just doing check-in posts because perhaps it's not as easy to get to go and see your usual support team, your psychologists, your psychiatrists, your GP, your family. Perhaps you're not near these people at the moment and you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I've got no support. Well, we just need to be creative about where we get our support from now. We need to keep it positive, high vibing, and we need to trust that in every moment, Spirit is meeting our needs, we are well, and we can go forward from here. I'm going to talk to you next week. See ya.